Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. Hey everybody, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is your Geek Out for Tuesday, July 17th, 2012. Have you seen T-Mobile's new Samsung Galaxy S3? I have one. Do you? If not, you can spin to win. Click the link in this video's description. You can try it once every day, and some of you are going to get one of these. Not this one. This one happens to be mine. Get your own T-Mobile's new Samsung Galaxy S3. Nexus 7, first impressions. While I didn't write the article in question, as seen in the link in today's video's description, I just happened to unbox this particular Google Nexus 7. And you can watch the unboxing later in this video. My initial impressions are overwhelmingly positive. For $200, it's a good device. Certainly better than other $200 tablet options out there. Jelly Bean is the best version of Android to date. It's definitely a contender. I have a different perspective, being someone who uses a variety of platforms, and I see the strengths and weaknesses of, any particular device, because there's really no such thing as something that's perfect, just that you benefit in some areas and you may lose out in other areas. But I would say the biggest selling point of the Nexus 7 is its selling point. $200. That's Geek Impulse buy territory, at least for me. Granted, I did have to sell a few devices to buy this one, but hey, maybe you're looking for a good $200 tablet. This one will fit the bill. Microsoft's future, the vision. Seems that Microsoft is firing on all cylinders, and I think that's good. I mean, I certainly want to see Microsoft continuing to produce things. I think they're doing amazing things, not to sound too general, with the Xbox experience, the marketplace, crossing over content with gaming, making it easier to take your personality and profile with you, beyond that Xbox experience in your living room, even though I'm in my office and I happen to have an Xbox here. I have like 4 Xboxes total. They're bringing that Metro experience everywhere. Windows Phone, Xbox, and then of course Windows itself, or at least Windows 8. Some of you have had a chance to try the consumer preview, and some of you have even tried the new Office consumer preview that was just released, or at least announced yesterday. And seeing bits and pieces of what they've put together, it certainly looks interesting, and it looks a lot more like Google Docs, which could be a good thing. If you're thinking about upgrading, you're probably going to be upgrading Office as well. Now, the question is, do you need Windows to run Office or Office-like applications? And the answer is no. You could use one of these. Regardless, it's good to see Microsoft focusing, or at least starting to focus, on the consumer experience, and that is good vision. Isle of Tune. Construct music in a virtual neighborhood sequencer. I discovered this years ago when it was just a Flash application. I could not wait for Isle of Tune to be ported to, iOS devices at least. Have you played with Isle of Tune? It's kind of fun. You can essentially map out buildings and trees and flowers and cars, and as things move around, you can create different sounds. And if you're not much of a creator, that's okay, because you could always browse islands that other people have created to play their compositions. What is virtual desktop infrastructure? VDI, a concept originated by VMware, is available in a number of different forms, from Microsoft, Citrix, Oracle, Red Hat, on down the line. For example, client systems are connecting to a virtual desktop hosted on a centralized server as opposed to being loaded locally on the hardware. It's a great way to scale. Buying a Mac to run Windows. I think this is a misnomer. So many people seem to believe that the only thing you can run on a Mac is OS X, the operating system that Apple releases in conjunction with the Mac. But they have this thing called Boot Camp, and with Boot Camp, you can turn your Mac into a full-on PC. And the best thing about Windows full-on on a Mac as a PC is that nothing else is installed except for what Microsoft ships with Windows, and of course Apple's drivers to make the hardware work just fine. If you're looking for a clean Windows experience, you could go with a Mac, or you can go with a Microsoft Signature PC. Many of them can be found at the Microsoft stores, or certainly you can go to Google, Bing, and look for a few Microsoft Signature PCs that you might want to own. Does the SodaStream fountain jet actually work? I'm a huge fan of soda. I used to drink soda with sugar, pop, soda pop. Stopped doing that about a decade ago. I do my best to avoid as much sugar as I can, or at least the highly refined sugar, and a lot of those beverages just aren't that good for your health. And then I recently discovered, after quitting the sugar in the carbonation, still drinking carbonated drinks like, soda water, that the carbonation could actually be hurting me too, like my kidneys. So I've tried to not drink as much club soda, soda water, whatever you want to call it, as much as I used to. I can't say that I've seen the direct impact, but I'm sure my body thanks me for it. What's there to drink? Well, drink water, or potentially even grape juice plus. If you're also a fan of soda, why not make your own? This gadget can help. I'm pointing at the link below. It's in the description. Analysts react to Marissa Mayer leaving Google. Got some good and bad perspectives. I think it's a good thing. I mean, where's Yahoo going? It's got to go somewhere. Someone's got to save it. And some people have said that Google, Yahoo, now needs to be run more like a startup. So what does Yahoo have that they could build upon? Yahoo Answers. A lot of people use that. Flickr, I think, could make a huge comeback if they play their cards right. What other services do you use from Yahoo? Anything else? What are you hoping Yahoo will do? Yahoo! I think that's the first thing they should do is get rid of that and make me forget about it. Next iPhone allegedly to slim down. I hate spreading rumors, but this is what they're saying. They're saying it's going to be slimmer. Okay? Well, we'll see what it has or what it doesn't have. I guarantee the next iPhone will have a screen, and it will be from Apple. This is pretty much confirmed. And it's also going to have iOS 6. That's also pretty much a guarantee. Everything else, who knows? Would you pay extra for FaceTime over 3G? So one of the new features of iOS 6 is FaceTime being enabled over the 3G networks, but allegedly AT&T may charge you extra for using FaceTime over 3G. Yeah. I mean, it's, their network. They're free to do with the network what they want. I don't use FaceTime all that often, unless I'm really communicating with my family. According to serial hackers, Jelly Bean is the safest version of Android yet. Oh, you're so secure. You're so secure. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. He's so secure. Yes, you are. You're so secure. Oh, yes. Oh, you are. Yeah. I tried the face unlock feature and it said I was too ugly. Laser-powered Bionic Eye gives 576 pixel grayscale vision to the blind. This is something that interests me greatly, given that my vision is not superb. I could go through LASIK, but I'm afraid. I mean, they're shooting lasers into your eye. And I know other people have done it, but I'm afraid of being that exception to the rule and, losing my sight. That's a tremendous sense for me. I mean, it's a tremendous sense for anybody who has sight. But knowing that technology is bridging the gap for those who have never been able to see, that's pretty amazing. And isn't that what it's all about? Technology making our lives better? On LockerGnome.net, ojmar writes, should I buy a netbook today? Gotta tell you, I've had this netbook for about 3 or 4 years, and you know how many times I've used it? Once, when I got it to boot it up to see what the hubbub was all about. But, yeah, it's, I mean, they're affordable, right? $100, $300, but, yeah. Maybe you need power, well, in which case you shouldn't be buying a netbook because they're not known for their power. You want portability? Why not go with a tablet? YouTube user Target Hunter 9 writes, do you think Amazon is nuts for making 3 versions of the Fire 2? Is that a rumor, or are they actually doing that? I don't know if that's news yet. They haven't really announced anything. They don't want to undercut the sales of their current Fire product. I'd imagine they are going to be creating, the new version. If that wasn't a rumor, makes sense, right? I mean, eventually you have to upgrade the series, and it's been a very popular tablet for some time. They are rumored to be setting up their own smartphones, so bringing that Fire experience to tablets or smartphones just makes a lot of sense. YouTube user HomelessGanster writes, what do you think about the general population's motive to buy popularity? From the standpoint of a consumer, it's obviously good to take a profit, but from a consumer's point of view, it's usually bad. Well, I think there's something to be said about wanting to belong, and sometimes it boils down to the products or services that you choose. I mean, if I choose a product or service, it speaks to my wants and needs, and it may speak to someone else's wants and needs, and it becomes, in many ways, and sad to say, a religion. You want other people to believe the same things you believe, whether they do or not, and then it turns into a whole war thing. I don't really buy devices based on their popularity. I buy devices or services or products because I think they're best suited for my needs. And it's not because they're popular. I mean, I have gone out on a limb to go against mainstream because I thought something would work better. I may have been right, I may have been wrong. Ultimately, I was happy with my decision. And I think that's the bottom line. Just be happy with your decision. Just keep in mind that that person over there, virtually, isn't thinking the same thing you are. YouTube user JoridVEVO writes, philosophical question, why don't Apple and Samsung fuse together as one big company that just rules the phone market? Well, you do realize that they benefit from each other right now, right? I mean, Apple buys screens from Samsung. The whole, they're making money already. So in many ways, they are kind of together. But it would be a bad idea for them both to merge, and be as one, because we need competition! It's here, the Nexus 7 from Google. I spent my hard-earned money to buy this, $250. I went with the 16 gig version. I figured, hey, if I'm going to do it, I might as well go as far as I can possibly go. I mean, imagine if I found thousands of Android apps that I just couldn't live without on the Nexus 7. I would want to have more space. I don't think I've ever heard anybody complain, oh, I have too much space on my device. Usually they don't have enough. And I'm very, very happy with this decision, given that many people who have been dyed-in-the-wool iOS fanboys have been in love with the Nexus 7, specifically because of Jelly Bean and Project Butter. This is what I'd been hoping for all along, an Android tablet that would potentially run just as smoothly as I've been accustomed to with iOS devices. So we will see. My own experiences here. I'm going to go ahead and unbox it now, if you don't mind. There's a box inside. Nexus. That's clean. It looks like we are going to need some kind of cutting utensil. Of course, the hardware made by Asus. Slice through that side. Ooh, better be careful. Put my thumb at the top. I might just cut it off. We'll do an unthumbing here. All right, there's that side. Let's see if we get a good box fart coming out of this thing. That was my sound effect. The box didn't actually fart. I love this. It's right here, up front and center. There it is. Of course, I have a piece of cellophane in front with a nice little pull tab. Let's go ahead and take it. And it's just a box. Take that off. Get a good. This concerned look on my face isn't a look of concern. It's rather. Oh, I booted it up. I didn't mean to. Guess it was that easy to boot up. Oh, I'm sorry, Emily. You guys want to see really what's in the box? Because this is an unboxing. We've got another box within a box. Oh, it's so meta. Were you expecting that, honey? No. No, I think Google surprised us all if I can figure out how to open it without damaging. There we go, micro USB. I love that because it's becoming standard. I'm guessing it's an AC adapter. Yes, an AC adapter. And that would be all. Let's go ahead, and this is a nice experience. It feels good. I like the back too. It's not going to attract fingerprints. That is pretty. The text is rather crisp. I like the fact that I can palm it. There are not many devices that I can do that with. It's a little hefty for one hand, but certainly not uncomfortable. I don't feel like I'm going to drop it. That is. All right. Let's see here. Okay, that's smooth. I like that. Do you see this transition? Oh, that's as far as I can go on that one. See how smooth that is? That's smooth. Smooth. You guys, I gotta tell you, it's not touted as like a retina display, but I would be shocked if the average person would see the difference between like an Apple's retina display or the display on the Nexus tablet. It's pretty clean. And as I said, the animations are also very, very smooth. I'm not getting any kind of stutter, any kind of lag in what's going on here. I gotta tell you, I am not all that impressed with the Gmail app in Android. Even in newer versions that I've tried, to me it's not as usable as I've had in other mail experiences. Nice, but not really amazing. I think this is a good or beyond good starter Android tablet for, well, anybody. Really? At $200, starting at $200. This is the 16 gig version, so it was a little more than that. But if I wanted to, I could see on Google Talk here, I could chat with Eddie Ringel by way of video, potentially even Creighton Miller by video. He's setting up his own computer today. I could even start chatting with Ryan Pearson. Oh, stabilization. Wow, you can turn on stabilization. Whoa! Holy cow! That is so smart. Stabilization. It's keeping me steady, and I can even see it. Wow.
That's incredibly good.
That's cool. And then I can give myself big eyes. Oh, look at my eyes. Holy... That is freaking me out, man! I'm freaking out! So you might ask, well, what place does a 7-inch tablet have, with, larger smartphones like the Samsung Galaxy S3? This is T-Mobile's Samsung Galaxy S3, which, by the way, FYI, you have a chance to win one every day between now and the time that it ends here at the end of the month. The click to win that we've been teasing in the Geek Outs. I've been having fun with this. Of course, I have an iPhone and my iPad as well, and I think people are going to be more inclined to want to compare the Nexus 7 against the iPad. And, I mean, yes, they are two different size screens, and I think, for the most part, even though this is a larger screen, and you can certainly see a lot more, I mean, that's nice, especially if you're browsing the web, you definitely want a larger screen. The question really, I think, comes down to less about features and more price. And that is, I think, the thing that Google has going for it the most. Beyond Google Play and all the apps and all the content that they have growing, even though in a limited set of countries when compared to Apple, for those who can buy a Galaxy Nexus, $200 for a base unit versus $500 for a base unit, even with a completely different set of hardware and a completely different experience. I think consumers are going to be very attracted to this model if Google can get it in front of them. I think that's going to be its biggest hurdle. I mean, they've got it in stores, certainly, but with a wide array of Android devices, how does the consumer know which one they want? Because everyone wants something differently, right? Everybody wants something different. And for some, this is going to be the ultimate experience. For others, this is going to be the ultimate experience. And for others, this is going to be the ultimate experience. So the nice thing is they all kind of get along. I can access all my Google services from iOS. I can access certain other accounts like Instagram from Android. It's getting more fun to use because, in my estimation, that smoothness as I'm browsing around, just clicking on things, tapping on things, going here, there, and everywhere, I don't feel like it's jarring. I don't feel like, oh gosh, it's just so stuttery. Gotta go play with my Nexus 7. We'll see you later. Oh, I think I'm allergic to Android.